So, respected President of ILA, Dr. Pradeep Roy ji, General Secretary ILA Dharamji, Senior Vice President ILA Dr. Katimani ji, and Viresh Hanchilal, Librarian of ILA, Karisid Sir, ex-President of ILA, and today's speaker, Rashmika Madam, and all the participants. Good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of ILA, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to this national webinar on the theme Enhancing Library Visibility and User Participation through Customized Services. So libraries today are rapidly transforming from traditional information centers to dynamic hubs that actively engage users through innovative and customized services. In this evolving digital environment, enhancing the visibility of library services and encouraging meaningful user participation have become essential for the growth and relevance of libraries in society. This webinar aims to provide a valuable platform for discussing emerging strategies, best practices, and innovative approaches that can strengthen user engagement and improve our library outreach. We are honored to have eminent professional, scholar, and expert with us who will share her valuable insights and experience on this important theme. I'm confident that today's deliberations will be highly informative, inspiring, and beneficial to all our participants. I extend my sincere gratitude to the office bearers of ILA and organizers of the Indian Library Association for arranging this webinar. I also thank all the participants for taking time from their busy schedules to join us today afternoon. I request all the participants to actively engage in the session and make the webinar interactive and fruitful. Once again, I warmly welcome you all and wish you all the best for this webinar. May I now request the Dr. Shubham Masurkar to introduce today's speaker. Is Shubham Masurkar available online?
Yes, sir.
Could you please introduce Madam for today's?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Prasad,
Yes, sir.
Just
would you like to say some word?
First of all, I want to welcome the speaker, today's speaker. No?
Oh, sorry, sir.
Good afternoon to one and all available here as well as connected through the YouTube live. First of all, I welcome Dr. Rashmi Kumar ji, who is going to deliver the lecture Enhancing Library Visibility and User Participation through Customized Services. I welcome you, ma'am, here to deliver your talk, and definitely we will be beneficial through your own experiences, how we can have the customized services can help the enhancement of library visibility in the society as well as in the institution as well. As well as I welcome Professor Kasitappa ji, our senior, and I think we all aware about it. And for the new participants, I may give idea. Professor Kasitappa is one of the renowned personality in library and information science, and he was president of Indian Library Association as well. And you definitely have read in your library science courses about the Kasitappa committee for the UGC syllabus curriculum development committee. You know, this is one of the major contribution by the sir, and we are fortunate enough he is with us here. However, it is very difficult to speak before Professor Kasitappa. He is one of the stalwart of our profession, and he is just a fatherly figure for all of us. Sir, I am thankful to you. You have spared your time and you are here to just give us the blessings to all professionals whomsoever is here for attending this conference. Prasadji, I will also request whenever sir want to add something or sir want to say something, so please give him the time for sharing his views. It is definitely, and I also request Professor Kasitappa ji to spare some time just to share your reminiscences for the library and information professional as and when you are having the time. Definitely, and Prasadji, please arrange one of the his sharing about his experiences in the profession from his childhood to the journey till date, how he is feeling, what is the opinion, and that will also be the beneficial for us. So now I once again I welcome Dr. Rashmi and other participants, Dr. Prasad and Dr. Vinita and her team. So thank you. I think this is my responsibility, being the ILA president, to welcome our speaker here. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep sir.
Thank you, sir.
Now request Shubham, please go ahead. Introduction of our today's speaker.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar, Dr. Rashmi Kumbar. Dr. Rashmi Kumbar is currently serving as the Chief Librarian at Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Gandhinagar. She is highly accomplished library and information science professional with rich experience across school, college, and university libraries, contributing a significant to the development of modern and user-centered library service. Dr. Rashmi Kumbar holds a PhD in Library and Information Science and secured first rank in MLIC from Gujarat University. She is also a UGC NET JRF and holds a postgraduate diploma in Library and Automation and Networking from the University of Hyderabad. Dr. Rashmi Kumbar has an outstanding academic and research profile. She has successfully guided 4 PhD scholars and supervised 22 masters and diploma dissertations and projects, contributing greatly to research and academic excellence in the LIS field. She has published numerous research papers in reputed journals and contributed chapters to books with national and international publishers. She has also represented India prestigious global platforms such as IFLA and IASL conference held in countries including the USA, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Indonesia, and many more. Her excellence and dedications have been recognized through several prestigious honors, including the Takeshi Murofushi Research Award 2022 by IASL, USA Satkal School Librarian Award, ILA AG Motiwale Best Paper Award, along with Gold Medal for Academic Excellence in MLIC. Beyond her academic achievement, Dr. Rashmi Kumbar has actively contributed to curriculum development, professional training programs, and national educational initiatives conducted by NCERT and other institutions. She strongly believes in promoting digital transformation, collaborative learning, inclusive access, and effective use of information resources in libraries. We are truly privileged to have such a dynamic and accomplished LIS professional with us today. Now, I take this opportunity to warmly invite Dr. Rashmi Kumbar ma'am to deliver her insightful session on the topic, enhancing library visibility and user participation through customized service. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubham. Thank you. May I now request Dr. Rashmi T. Kumar madam to kindly deliver today's lecture on theme enhancing library visibility and user participation through customized services. Madam, thank you very much for joining us. Madam, the virtual platform is now yours. Thank you. Please kindly go ahead, madam. Thank you.
Hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My screen is visible.
Excellent.
Yes, ma'am.
So at the outset, I thank Dr. Pradeep ji for giving me an opportunity to share my experiences in my short career in the profession. And I also thank Masoor ji for the grand introduction that he gave. I hope it serves as an inspiration to the new professionals who are in this audience. So my references to all the elders and mentors whose blessings mean a lot to me, and whatever I am today, I owe it to my elders. So we all, as budding professionals, have looked up to ILA for guidance, whether it is the resources, whether it is the publications. Me as a teacher and as a practicing librarian, I have looked up to the ILA platform many a times for many of the resource support. So with this, I would like to begin. First and foremost, we all should remember that when we say libraries, they are more than just books. They are also related to engaging the community and also designing the services which are most relevant to our users. So we should not leave any opportunity to showcase all the work that we do in our day-to-day life, be it a public library, be it an academic library, or be it a special library. So I just want to make a kind of caveat that whatever I'm sharing today is the experience that I have gathered over the years as a school librarian, as a college librarian, and as an assistant professor in the teaching line. So whatever I'm sharing today is not research based, it is evidence based. Whatever I have practiced, I'm sharing it so that the new professionals who have joined have something to take home and customize it and implement it. So to build a context, we all know that libraries are active hubs in the knowledge system. They make an effort to connect not just the resources, but also the technology, the people, the experts, as well as the ideas, the innovations in meaningful way. We all are also aware of the concept of embedded librarianship, where librarians are, the library science professionals are moving outside the physical realms of the library and are engaging directly with the users in their spaces, be it the classrooms, be it the sections in the university or the college, or be it the academic departments. We have been making efforts to be directly connected with the users. And we are also a trusted partner in the creation of knowledge as well as the dissemination of knowledge. We make an effort to understand what are our users' information needs, how to ensure that whatever value addition we are doing will help them progress in their areas, and also build a long-term relationship between the academicians as well as the common people. So we are aware that as librarians, we wear many hats. We not only provide information, but we also support the research initiatives. Those of us who are working in the academic setup are aware that teaching learning is the priority, the main activity of any academic institution. But nowadays, most of the universities are called as research universities. So those of us who are working in the academic setup are very much aware of the research support services that we provide. We are also considered as the curators of the digital content. Most of the content these days is in the digital format. So it is our onus to understand how to identify, how to evaluate it, how to organize it, and how to make it available on the various platforms. We are also community builders. It's not just the faculty and the students, but the staff, the people who work with us, the other peripheral stakeholders whom we engage are also whom we involve with. And we are voracious advocates of the use of the resources that we have built over a period of time. So both the visibility and user participation, which are the crux of today's talk, are sort of complementary. So if there is library visibility, then naturally user participation will be more. If user participation is higher, then the library's visibility increases. So it's important that we conduct workshops, we conduct talks, we conduct sessions which are well attended by students or researchers, depending on what kind of institution we are serving with. So most of the students love to share their experiences of using the resources or using the facility. And naturally, when such workshops or some sessions are conducted, they participate more actively. This, when a group of students or some of the individuals share their experiences, it motivates the others to follow suit, right? So this in turn increases the visibility of the library and also the reach across the campus. So it's not just a one-time session or a one-time activity that we do. It is a continuous cycle of engagement and growth. So there are ample number of resources available on how to go about increasing our visibility, increasing the user participation, be it the professional bodies, be it the blogs that are there. All of them help us to understand how people are doing or how professionals in the developed countries are engaging the students in the time of less footfall or more of virtual presence. So what is it that we can do as librarians to ensure that the optimization of the resources happens, the facilities are well used, and the collection is used for their output? So when we talk about library visibility, essentially we are talking about the effectiveness of the library services, the resources, the expertise that we hold, and how we can contribute to their journey. So it also means the recognition. How do students, how do faculty members, how do researchers or users in general value a library's contribution to their academic pursuit? So it's a hub of learning, research, and engagement that leads to its visibility in the institution. It ensures that users are aware. If we make some efforts, if we do engaging activities, it creates awareness among the users as to what does the library offer to the community. And not only does it support the teaching, learning, and research, but also the innovation, which is an important factor in today's world. As librarians, we all know that we support the institution to which we serve, and in turn, they support the library in its initiatives. So, as academic librarians, say if you're working for a college library or a university library, our primary goal is to support the teaching, learning that happens there, as well as the research that is there in various forms of services, whether it is the interlibrary loan or whether it is the document delivery service, whether it is the research data management, whether it is data visualization. So all kind of support that is expected in the research cycle or in the academic cycle, the library is the core provider of these resources. And also, library plays a liaising role between the university and the community. The community at large is also a user of the library, whether it is an academic library or a public library. So, in order to strengthen the library services in education system, it's important that professional collaboration and community engagement are constantly designed or revamped to suit the situations. So, talking about my institution, so first and foremost, I come from the state of Gujarat, Gandhi's land. So, Dhirubhai Ambani University is 25 years old today. Earlier, it was known as Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information Communication Technology. So, it has its flagship program of BTech, ICT, MTech, and PhD programs. Now, it has diversified into law and design also. So we offer a good number of bachelor's program, master's program, and PhD programs. So these 25 years of scholarly contribution, whether it is thesis, dissertations, faculty publications, all of them are made available through the institutional repository. And how do we create visibility for the kind of compilation that we do is sending the monthly reports, the publication details to the concerned offices, whether it is the administration, whether it is the IQAC, whether it is the director's office. It's a continuous process. As well as for the compilation of the annual report, the institutional repository is a major source, whether it is the metrics, which are the top journals that our faculty publish in, which are the top conferences that our faculty contribute, all of them are made visible through the institutional repository. Then when we talk about library visibility, in common terms, not just the research aspect, but the kind of collection that we have, whether it is the books or it is the databases or the e-resources in general, we have to make specific efforts these days, since all of our students, most of our students are digital natives. They are the Gen Z that we call. So they are much more literate, much more information literate than us, digitally literate than us. So we have to make that extra effort. We have to walk that extra mile to connect them to the resources that we have acquired over a period of time. Along with that, we have to design services, or we have to curate the collection so that all kind of activities due to NEP, there is a research component even in the undergraduation program, whether it is the dissertation or it is the capstone project that they are involved in. Research is a vital element of their 4-year course. So it becomes important for us to align our services with their requirements. Along with that, we have to ensure that all the library events, whether it is the orientation of the e-resources, whether it is the authors' workshops, or any kind of information literacy events that we conduct, have to be showcased. It is also essential for us to keep our website updated and show our presence on the social media. Along with that, we have to proactively collaborate with the faculty members as well as the various academic departments that are there in the university or in our colleges. Along with that, whatever kind of activities that are conducted across the institution, whether it is the Platinum Jubilee or Silver Jubilee, or whether it is a conference, whether it is a student festival, whether it is an annual day, all kind of institutional activities should see the librarian's contribution or the presence, the library staff's contribution and involvement. And accreditation, we all know, is an important component of every organization. So we have to participate actively. Along with that, the kind of involvement that we show should be supported with reports as well as relevant statistics. Coming to how can we improve the academic library visibility, I read on the Press Reader blog these 10 points as to how to improve the academic library's visibility. So first and foremost, it's extremely important that the footfall, the physical presence of the students in the library has reduced, but there is a significant presence on the virtual platform. So it's important for us to teach them the information literacy skills or the digital information literacy skills, to identify what are the requirements, to evaluate their requirements, to ensure that they use the authentic sources, they use the authentic ways of putting them together, and then putting it in the form, say, using some of the standards or the manuals that have been recommended to them. So the faculty collaboration will ensure that we can impart such skills in the classrooms or as a part of the orientations. It's essential also to ensure we have some specific events spread across the year so that the academic calendar is also taken into consideration when we plan such orientation sessions or some of the events. It is also important that we also include in our radar not just the faculty or the students, but also the staff, support staff, and the people associated with the organization. So those who have access to information, those who are literate, they are fortunate. But those of them who are not literate or do not have access to the resources, they also should be a part of our focus. So when we talk about research assistance, we all know how we offer the literature search. So it's important that we have a one-on-one. We also have the privilege of extending support in their writing activities, whether it is their dissertation, whether it is their PhD thesis, or whether it is the publications. So the use of Turnitin or Grammarly or OLIF can be a part of the library's information literacy initiative. So teaching them how to integrate technology in their writing or in their literature search is one of our major responsibilities. It's also equally important to have a physical space that is inviting. It should be cordial, the staff should be more welcoming, and the premises of the library should be clean and neat and should serve as a reminder that they have access to various kinds of information resources. And then not just the library premises, but also across the campus. If we have certain spots which are frequented by the students, it's essential for us to begin our promotion from there. So when we talk about the displays, whether it is the posters, flyers, or brochures, they should be placed at such places which are accessible to the students, which are in the vicinity of the student community. That will increase the possibility of they getting involved with us. We also need to be open to feedback. So it's important that we ask for feedback, and once we collect the feedback, we should also act on it. It's not just the students' feedback I'm talking about, but also the faculties or the staff who are working in the organization or in the institution. So when we talk about visibility, what is the advantage? Okay, how does it help us? So basically, when we as professionals strive to increase the visibility, it is basically with the intention of increasing the utilization of the resources. So creating awareness is one part of the continuum, then utilization is the second part of the continuum, and finally the promotion. So that is what, when we talk visibility in libraries, is all about. It strengthens our role in the entire academic ecosystem, as well as we have a role to play in enhancing the institutional reputation. So whatever kind of funding or whatever kind of projects that our staff gets is dependent on how effectively are we providing the resources to them, as well as how effectively are we able to maintain or provide access to these resources. And having the students engage with the resources is another challenge, which we can do only with the help of the faculty. So it's important that we develop a strong relationship with these students as well as the faculty members. So next that I'm going to talk about is how we can create visibility through marketing, outreach, advocacy, communication, and user-centered services from the perspective of what we have done at Dhirubhai Ambani University. Our library is called as the resource center because it's just not the collection of books or the circulation that we cater to, but we also have various services, we also have various facilities, and we also have various resources, whether it is the preview room, which is used for the book talks, pre-placement talks, discussions, PhD defense. Then we have the institutional repository where we have the entire output, research output of the institution on one single platform. We have the digital resources room, we have the maker space, we have the faculty lounge, we have the reading rooms. So many resources are under the umbrella of resource center. So RC is the abbreviation that most of the community in the university knows about. So most of my slides next, you will see the word RC or resource center, which means the library. So when we talk about marketing in academic libraries, we essentially mean the promotion of the resources, print as well as electronic. We talk about tools and techniques being used, whether it is the physical or the digital displays or the campaigns. We talk about the library website and social media, and also about how important it is to measure the usage of the e-resources as well as the physical presence of our users. So when we talk about marketing, it's an umbrella term. It involves promotion, it involves branding, it involves public relations, it involves publicity, it involves advertising as well as advocacy. So part of these are what we have tried to do at Dhirubhai Ambani University Library. So when we talk about marketing, the basic objective or the main objective is to promote our services, resources, as well as the facilities, and making a strong communication channel throughout the to all kind of stakeholders who are involved in the building of the institution. So not just communication for visibility, but also branding as well as usage statistics are a part of marketing. So the email campaigns that we do, or the social media posts, or the posters, or the orientation sessions are a part of marketing. So ultimately, what is the outcome of marketing? It is increased awareness and usage of these resources by all the users in our organization. Who are our audience then? If we are talking about marketing or promotion of resources, whom do we market it to? Essentially, in an academic institution, it is the students, whether it is the undergrads or the postgrad students or the doctoral students or the interns who are there as a part of a summer school, or they might be here for project work. So all of them, along with the staff, along with the uh, uh, faculty members, are a part of our audience. The community at large, nowadays it's not only restricted. We do have institutional memberships, we do have individual memberships, we do have different kind of corporate memberships. So all of them are welcome to use the libraries in most of the situations. Though we might be charging a fee, but community at large benefits with our services. So coming to how, so we know what is marketing, we know whom we are marketing it to, but how? So the first step is analysis. So it is important that we develop a strategy. So how should the strategy be? First and foremost, knowing who our library users are, just as we did. One, their current needs and what are their future needs. For example, the current needs of an undergrad student might be the project that he is doing, the capstone project that he is doing as a part of his final semester, and his future need may be regarding the placements. So that is an essential factor for us to develop a strategy. What are the key research programs that our institution is offering? Okay, who are the faculty members? Which is the cohort which is involved in that kind of project? And understanding the academic calendar of our institution. When does the semester begin? When does the mid-sem occurs? When does the end sem is there? What kind of evaluation happens? Okay, what kind of learning management system they are using? How can we support them? Whether it is the course reserves, whether it is the short-term loan. So whether they are the reading lists that are provided by their faculty, or they have made a request, or they are as a part of their course requirements, are we able to incorporate them in our strategy? And also, we need to know how we are or where we are when it comes to providing services to the students on a semester basis. It's important that we evaluate ourselves, we review ourselves, and what are the content needs. So it's not just that we put together these many e-resources or put together the PDFs, but it's extremely important to understand how to extract the information that is contained in each of the resources and provide it to the community. The second step is aligning our activities with the vision and mission of our institution. What is it that we plan to be? What kind of library? Okay, we all have benchmarks. What is the kind of role model for me? Which kind of library would I like to emulate? What kind of services would I like my library to be aligned with? So where are we now and where do we want to be in the future? And what exactly is the role of the library in the institute's mission? What are our values? What are our beliefs? And what kind of importance is accorded to the library in an university? It's extremely important for us to think. It is extremely important to reflect and then frame our activities. So it's important that when we frame our vision statement or mission statement, we should ensure that the uniqueness of our services are there. The kind of taglines that we use, or the kind of USP that we use for our libraries, should be meaningful, it should be concise, it should be brief, and we should speak the language that our stakeholders speak. Then only we would be able to relate to it. The third aspect is the analysis, the strategy itself. We finished the analysis, we finished the planning, and the third step is strategizing. So where are we currently? Where do we find some gaps which we need to fill? And what is the benchmark that we have set for ourselves? So this will help us. Once we have our vision ready, then it's very simple to create a mission out of it. Our mission will help us to frame our objectives, and objectives can be done if we have our goals. And if we have our goals in place, then it is easy to have our action plan or our daily plan. So we all know about the SMART goals. Our goals have to be very specific, they should be measurable, they should be achievable, they should be relevant and time-based. So we all know how NEP has literally transformed most of the libraries. So whether it is making the Indian knowledge system as a part of our collection, though we are an out and out ICT based organization, though humanities and social sciences is an integral part of our courses, but still we have made an attempt to ensure that the Indian knowledge system is accorded the due kind of respect that it deserves, and the kind of resources that are there that fits into that bracket. So with that, we come to the final step, that is the execution. So it's important for us to see how to execute the plan that we have in place. So it can be the kind of connection we established over a virtual platform, or it can be having programs where the students act as ambassadors, or it can be the various channels through which we can stay connected. So in my university, we have the student governing body, which is a very strong student, it has a very strong student presence. So once a semester, we have a regular meeting with them to understand what are the requirements of the students. So there are around 22 clubs, student clubs under the student governing body. So we ensure that all of their activities have some kind of library involvement, whether it is the quiz club, whether it is the reader society, whether it is the press club, whether it is the muse club. All of them have some kind of connection to the library. So asking their feedback. Even our library committee has the presence of a PhD student. Most higher education institutions now have the presence of students on their library advisory committee. So do we. So we always try to send our messages through the student body government. And also we have many incentives when the student clubs collaborate with us, when we hold activities in collaboration with them, then there are some incentives. There are some incentives for borrowing during summer. There are some incentives when they borrow during the winter, or there are incentives when they sort of participate in our events. So all of these are opportunities for us to increase the visibility of our organization, of our library. So if you look at here, this is basically a snapshot of how the Reader Society, which was earlier mentored by the library, used to conduct most of its activities. I was talking about the preview room. So this is the preview room where the students conduct various activities of the Reader Society. Similarly, as I said about all these things, I'll just give you a glimpse of how we are doing our book promotion or the magazines or the facilities or the services through a series of photographs, which will sort of give you an idea as to how it can be done. So whether it is books or magazines, for example, in most of the libraries, we all subscribe to the London Review of Books, we subscribe to the Biblio or the book review magazines, but they should not just adorn the magazine shelves. So we made an attempt to bring it to the faculty launch where faculty come to read, and we have kept a form there where they can themselves suggest the book. So they need not even go and open their laptop and give a suggestion. We have kept it right there, though it's a very traditional way of doing it. But the moment they browse through, they have the option to make a suggestion. So like this, there are various other opportunities of promoting the magazines. So we usually discard most of the magazines in most of the organizations after 6 months or 1 year, unless and until they have some scholarly relevance. Most of the journals are bound volumes, but the magazines, they should not go waste. So usually during the summer, we encourage the students to borrow the magazine issues also. So we can create such kind of opportunities for the students to borrow. So since our end semester exams coincided with the Mother's Day, we said that you can borrow a book in your mother's name. You can borrow a book for your mother, and we gave a bookmark to all those students who borrowed an extra book for their mothers. So these can be some opportunities for us to explore and engage the students. You can promote a facility. Okay, so this is one special thing that is there in our library. We have created a stress-free corner. It's called as the Soul Studio. When I interacted with the faculty members, when I interacted with the counselors, when I interact with the students, I try to pick up some kind of tips from them as to what we can do better to serve them. So one of the counselors suggested that we should have a stress-free corner in the library. So this is what we created very recently, a year back. So here the students have the opportunity to come, they can relax, they can listen to music, they can read books, they can draw, they can do origami, they can do whatever it takes for them to relax. So just there we have kept a file which says RC scan, where they are able to read books on stress management or read articles. So such simple things which will get them connected to the magazines or the resources that we have in the library. Similarly, we have the Makers Corner. So most of the higher education academic institutions do have the tinkering labs or the maker space. So in our university, we call it as the Makers Corner, the Knowledge Corner. So a few science kits are there, some equipment are there are some puzzles, there are some riddles, and there is a soldering gun, and there are some small things that we have kept on a pilot experiment basis. So we just want to see how do they involve. So we have requested the Electronics Hobby Club to plan an event using these. So sometimes the design students are there trying to do something. Sometimes the students from the PhD program come and relax there. Sometimes the undergrads come. So this is one way of ensuring that the students keep coming to the library. You may want to promote a resource. So since most of the students are keen about the AI tools, so we try to promote this through the digital screen that is available in our library. As soon as they come in, they can see a digital screen which keeps on scrolling. It's a kind of carousel which has all these kind of resources, whether it is the library statistics, whether it's the new arrivals that is there, whether it is a newsletter. So these are some of the ways through which, or the medium through which you can promote the new services. Or events. We can even promote the events. Again, the events are basically to promote the borrowing of the books or usage of the resources. So for the World Book and Copyright Day, we also know that it happens to be Shakespeare's birthday and death day, as people interpret it. So putting up a quiz pertaining to Shakespeare, pulling out the characters, sort of creating a proscenium, a kind of globe theater in the library, was something that we attempted. Anybody who scans the QR code is able to take up the quiz, and then we would declare the winners. Since also it happens to be a copyright day and we have the School of Law, the law faculty came and addressed us on the IPR concept and related aspects. And we also had a display of all Shakespeare books in the library. So it gave an opportunity for the entire community to visit us. For the occasion of National Library Week, as most people do, we also had a few posters where because we wanted to create awareness among the community about the kind of libraries. So every trainee who are working with us, they are actively involved. So they prepared the posters, one international library and one national level library, and we try to create this awareness among the community. Along with a quiz, we played a Kahoot quiz which helped them to participate in their awareness or about their knowledge about the library and its services, right? So if we are doing these kind of marketing things, so how do we measure it? It's extremely important that we measure it. So it's important that we try to create a strategy document to analyze the results. Okay, how many articles were downloaded, or how many articles were browsed, or which was the e-resource that was highly used, or which were the kind of journals that most of the students went or they try to access. So these kind of statistics will give us an idea as to how to promote the ones which are less used. So this would also tell the authorities or the management as to how we are making efforts to promote these kind of resources to help the teaching learning process as well as the research process. Then for doing any kind of promotional activity, it is important that we keep communicating. So what do we communicate and how do we communicate, right? So these days, along with the print, we also have the ability of sharing the things in the through the email or on the digital platform. So it might be on our website, it might be on any of our social media handles, but also sometimes some of the things we can display on our notice boards. So at the resource center or at my library, we have this number of communication channels which we try to connect our users with with our content. So every quarter we have our newsletter. Every week we have our weekly update, which is called as the RC Reckoner. We have the RC on wheels, which I'll explain a little later. We have something called as RC Metrics to promote the magazines. We have something called as RC Cardinals, which helps us to promote the statistics. Then the compilation of the scholarly resources. And then we have RCQs, which helps us with the research literacy and the promotion of articles and the promotion of e-resources. So this is a glimpse of the quarterly newsletter which goes. So it has the introduction to the new resources that we have added or the kind of software that we have subscribed to. We also present a glimpse of what we have added, not just in the terms of resources, but as facilities, what kind of events we conducted in the last quarter and what we are planning to conduct later. The kind of involvement, so whether it is a student who has been recently placed or a PhD student's review or a student who has completed his summer school. So those kind of interviews will inspire the others to follow suit. Then we also present the statistics as well as engage the readers or the users with some kind of mind gym kind of activities. Then this is the weekly update. Every week, the entire community gets posted as to what is the kind of statistics that we have kept a track of. It can be the usage of the library, the footfall in the library, the highest number of users in a particular duration of time, what kind of books were added to the library, what is the kind of subjects that have been focused when we have added a particular set of books, or what kind of downloads have happened, which e-resource has been highly used. So these kind of statistics will keep the community, especially the faculty members and the directors, aware of how it's going. So many of us are doing this, I don't deny that, but the question or the challenge is consistency. Are we doing it regularly? For the past 1 year, without missing a week, we have been doing this on a weekly basis. This ensures that the library is always on their mind. We should remember this thing, that whenever they have any kind of need, library should be the first stop that they approach to. Then, as I said, we have the RC cardinals. It is extremely important to showcase the statistics. So we put up these cardinals on a monthly basis, not just as an email attachment, but also on the notice board and in our newsletter, as well as the weekly update. We all know it's very easy to grasp the gist by going through the graphics that are there rather than reading texts and texts or paragraphs and paragraphs of the reports. Then we have the RC frame. As I said, it's extremely important that we align ourselves with the activities of the institute, be it a college, a school, or a university, or a special library. It's important that we align with our organization's initiatives. Our university completed 25 years, so we thought of coming up with 25 resources to commemorate 25 years of academic excellence. So it might be 25 preprint archives, it might be 25 open textbook resources, or it can be digital libraries, or it can be open course. So for the last 6 months, 6 odd months, we are trying to put together this compilation so that the community is also aware of the open educational resources that are available in the public domain. Then we also have the RC metrics, because print magazines, many of us know that it is a kind of attraction of any library to have magazines like Harvard Business Review, The Times, or many of those popular magazines which engages the students in developing their holistic personality. So what we do is every fortnight, we bring out the editorial pages of 4 different magazines that we have and put it together and share it. We put it on the notice boards or wherever the students open the doors, or we send it through our weekly updates. This sort of creates the kind of curiosity in the students to come and read such common magazines. So to complete the marketing component, branding is crucial. I understand that it's very important. Our university has a branding manual, so we have to stick to that whenever we are creating any kind of products. But we have just tried to brand our resources or brand our services with the acronym RC and then further. But then it's important that we also follow the guidelines given by our university whenever we are doing any kind of promotional activities, right? And we cannot downplay the social media, because these young generation like to be present on the social media. So we do have a modest presence on the social media. So on Instagram, on LinkedIn, we are there on YouTube, and also we have very minor presence on the Facebook. We have our own WhatsApp channel, which are very diligently maintained by an efficient team of colleagues at my university. Then user participation, going to the other component of this. So the user participation I'll explain through outreach activities and advocacy. So when we say user participation, any kind of user, be it the students or the faculty members or the staff members, they should have their presence in the library as a facility. They should be involved in the decision making. So we all know when we take suggestions, whether it is for books or for e-resources, there is a process. But then all the suggestions should be welcomed, and we have a process of evaluating, and we know how to go about it further. But it's important that there should be involvement of every stakeholder of the university. So nowadays, users are not just simply passive consumers. They want to be involved in the decision making. Recently, I had a request. Why is the Kindle lying idle? We have 5 Kindle devices. The student insisted, why not you give it on loan? So I said, that is an opportunity for me too. I have just kept it in the library where we all issue it on demand in the library premises, and we collect it back, just like we do for a course reserve book. But then this gave me an idea that we can develop a policy how such devices can also be let out. We have seen in most of the Western countries, they do loan laptops, they do loan tablets, or they do loan such kind of devices. So probably Kindles can also be loaned to students. So they are a part of the decision making thing. They do suggest books, they do suggest changes, they do suggest changes for the timings of the library. So why not we also hear their reason behind such kind of requests? So they have become contributors as well as collaborators in most of the library activities. So whether it is the staff members or whether it is the students, we should be open to their suggestions when we invite them for participation. So when we say user participation, suggestions is a very well established mechanism, but feedback is something which we really need to work on. We are open to criticism. I mean, appreciations as well as brickbats both should be welcome. So the participation happens only when they give us feedback on how to improvise ourselves. So participation cannot be just only in the orientation programs or the instruction programs, but also beyond. Okay, engaging with the resources extremely welcome. Then we also have the kind of student volunteer programs in many of the universities. Sometimes we have ambassadors. As I said, our student body, governing body, the convener and the co-convener and the club heads act as ambassadors for our library initiatives. And we all have the active involvement of the faculty members in the collection development. We also need to conduct surveys. So we in the library conduct focus group discussions with various stakeholders to get their review about how to go about adding a particular resource or adding a particular service in the library. And we need to say, when we say user participation, we can't say the older days when libraries used to be quiet zones are done with. So we have in my library an area which is silent study zone. The reading zones are in one of the wing of the library are silent study zones. The other we have thrown open as the collaborative zones. So they have to be given scope for discussion. At the same time, they should not disturb the serious readers. So there should be some kind of spaces where students can do some kind of participatory activities. Then, as I said, we also engage the community with book talks where they are experts. Like here was a design author who had come from Japan and he had a collaboration with the design faculty. So he gave a talk which saw a good number of students doing their masters in design participating in that. At the same time, we also have talks by the alumni or talks by the general authors who come in big numbers because they always love to listen to an alumni speak. So these can be an opportunity for us to increase our membership of the alumni or of the external members or the corporate memberships, right? So to say the importance of user participation, it results in the quality improvement of our services. It creates a sense of ownership. The students feel a sense of belongingness and naturally their engagement with the resources increases. So we sort of create a culture where it is participatory learning and it strengthens the overall community engagement within the institution. As I said, we constantly have some kind of events in the library which are endeavors to connect our users to the resources that we have. So we have the peer review week, which is celebrated in September. Then we have the open access week, which is celebrated in October. We have the National Library Week, which is celebrated in November, apart from the World Book and Copyright Day, apart from the World Literacy Day, which are sort of closely related to the Librarians Day, which are closely related to the library kind of events. So there also we try to create awareness by involving the faculty, by involving the students, and we as the staff together put up, for example, for this particular event, we had a professor who talked about the importance of peer review in the AI era. Then our own trainees, all four of them, they put up different aspects of peer review in the form of posters. We had a discussion, focus group discussion with the research club as to how they want the library to support them in their endeavors in research involving the AI tools, right? I talked about the RC on wheels. So here I'm talking about user participation in the form of outreach. When I say outreach, it is basically connecting and engaging our community. What is the main objective? It is connecting the users to the library and building a sustainable relationship. It is a two-way interaction and it is user-centered or their information requirement centered. So you can collaborate with various sections in the university. We collaborated with the faculty members, the humanities and social sciences group. So this facility, which is called as RC on Wheels, is the collage of pictures you are seeing is basically of RC on Wheels. So if the students do not come to us, we plan to go to the students. So we collaborated with two groups this time on two courses. One was on world literature. So here the faculty and the library team had a discussion what kind of resources the faculty has been suggesting to the student community to read apart from the reading list which is given or apart from the kind of readings they do in the classroom. So we curated that specific collection and we take it to their classrooms. So there the faculty speaks about these books to them. Sometimes we just exhibit it. Then we have the jigsaw puzzles of those authors whose books we have displayed. We have a quiz. So students actively involved. We allow this exhibition to be there for 2 days. Our staff take it to that classroom. We are there for that particular class up to the lunch hours. And then we come back and again the next day, if it is a 2-day event, then we put it up 2 days. So this is one kind of initiative. Similarly, we do have some kind of collaboration with the external organizations. For example, we had a kind of collaboration with the Science City where they invited our students to give a kind of inputs on the various galleries that they had put up in the Science City in the city of Ahmedabad. So these workshops also are an opportunity for the library to exhibit the kind of work libraries or archives or galleries are doing. Same way, community building. Those students who are interested in reading are supported by the Readers Society. Then, as I said, we go up to the classroom to involve the students in various kind of literary activities, whether it is teaching them how to do referencing or how to generate bibliographies or how to do their reference management through various software or any kind of literature searching, how to evaluate the resources using various tools like CRAP or Radar, etc. So the ultimate outcome of any kind of outreach activity is once again better understanding of what our students require, what our faculty require, and thereby creating a surge in the trust they place in us. So involving the community, as I said, we do have collaborations with the department, with the student clubs, with the administration, as well as we support the rural internships. Some of the internships do happen in the library. And sometimes some kind of disciplinary issues are also transferred to the library where we utilize. When they say, when somebody throws lemon at you, you make a lemonade or you make lemon tea. So whenever they send students across to do a kind of social service, we utilize it for students to share their technological skills and create some kind of resource sets for us. So these are some of the things which I will discuss in my future slides. So here you can see we celebrated the Rabindra Jayanti with the music club, where the music teacher talked about Rabindra Sangeet. We put up the books on Rabindranath Tagore or by Rabindranath Tagore, and there was some poetry reading, there were some songs. So this is another way of promoting all the books of the national poet to the larger community. Similarly, we have these kind of engagement where we most of us do this, the orientations by the publisher representatives or the vendor representatives. So all the major e-resources that we have, whether it is IEEE or whether it is ACM or Science Direct or Springer or Project Muse, we ensure that in the term of the entire year, all the 10 major resources, the representatives come to us, they talk to us, and they sort of address the queries faced by our people or the problems faced by our people. Then, as I said with the club, so we take opportunities to celebrate those days, whether it is the Youth Day, National Youth Day, or the National Science Day, World Forestry Day, Women's Day, or it is the Labor Day, or it's the Environment Day. Whatever are the important days, we try to connect with those clubs. So here, as a part of the National Science Day, we had a collaboration with the Quiz Club, and we had also a collaboration with the Debate Club, and we conducted some of the events. This is another great way of pulling the students back into the library. Then involving the community, especially the staff members should know what the libraries are doing. So it's important that we involve them. So as a part of the Gujarat Sthapana Divas, which falls on 1st May, we try to engage the entire community with the resources. So here is a glimpse of what we did. So it was through a kind of group discussion where they talked about the costumes, the cuisine, and the crafts of Gujarat. There was a kind of group discussion. Then we had a quiz on the awareness of Gujarat culture. Then we had all the geographical indicators of Gujarat listed. And then we had the people coming across and putting their understanding of various aspects of cultural literacy through PowerPoints or through posters, which sort of gave us an opportunity to understand the requirements along with an exhibition of the books in Gujarati language. We try to engage the support staff, especially the housekeeping staff, the gardening staff. They are an important component of every academic institution. So to bring in some kind of value, we also invited a doctor. So the doctors sort of educated them the importance of hygiene, the importance of managing sanitation, etc., while we told to them what is accessible for them in the library, their role in keeping the library clean, etc. So they were there for an hour with us. So they loved doing some kind of puzzles, some kind of riddles. They went through the Gujarati magazines, they went through the reference books just to get an idea as to what the students do. They explored the maps. So this is another way of involving the larger community into picture. It's important that we also design our campaigns which are more meaningful, which are productive, right? So we have to ensure that the design aspect, especially when it has to be clear about the objectives, about the simplicity, whether the campaigns are restricted to students, or is it across the campus, or is it for a specific section of the community, or is it outside the community? So all of these kind of aspects should be taken into care when we are designing the user engagement campaigns. Since the stress-free zone or the Soul Studio, we had put in a lot of efforts to understand how to engage the community when we were opening this facility. So not just the counselors, but the students as well as the faculty members' inputs were taken in, the posters were designed, we designed the activities. For example, a talk on bibliotherapy, we had kind of musical therapy, we had origami sessions, we had silent reading sessions. So these kind of thoughts have to be gone into when we design such campaigns, right? All of this is possible only when our planning is precise, right? So what we do at our university is we draw up an event calendar. We draw up the timeline month-wise. Every month, what is it that we want to do? What are the themes? What are the events that we are going to observe? Who are the authors whom we are going to call for the book talks? Or what kind of resources will be used? Which kind of resource are we going to have the orientation session on? All these things are put together with a note and put up to the Director General, and the approval is taken, not just for the activities, but also the financial aspect. So this sort of eases our the complexity of conducting events. We always look into the academic calendar and plan this event calendar. So conducting the event is one thing, but documenting it, taking the photographs, putting a copy of the posters in, and then all kind of items that will help us when the accreditation bodies come up. So that documentation is extremely important. And once the reports are done, the reports usually go in the weekly updates, they go in the quarterly newsletter, they go to the IQAC office, but we also have to review what was good, what was not good, so that the next time we are doing, we maintain the quality of it. And some part of it we can always share with the newsletter, like ILA has a newsletter, ISLIC has a newsletter, or there are many people who can convert their best practices into a kind of research-based paper, and they can even publish it. And if you have good connects with the media, you can also publish it as a news item, right? But the idea is you have to plan in advance, get the required approvals and announce. But this event calendar, which I have been with this institute for the past 1.5 years, the 2 years I have put up an event calendar, I have showed what kind of difference it makes. It becomes easier for us to get the required approvals. So here are some of the snapshots now. These are the information literacy sessions. So with one of the subject, like the course that was offered, Science, Technology and Society for the second year BTech students, the HSS faculty had asked us to take a session on Chicago style of referencing. So we did this activity, me and my colleague Manoranjan. We went into their classrooms. We talked in general about how a report has to be structured. What is the importance of in-text citation? How is it different from the references, and how references is different from the bibliography? So that gave us an opportunity for the students to make them aware that we can help them in writing reports, we can help them in their dissertation. So we have regular requests to help us with how to avoid plagiarism or how to write better reports, etc. So this particular course, Science, Technology and Society, the students were assigned tasks to be conducted in the library using 3 different newspapers in 3 different languages. So that gave us an opportunity to understand how really students come looking for information. As I said, we also collaborate with different people. Here we collaborated with the music club, where we had the science in music, right? So the music faculty explained about the different ragas associated with the science phenomena, like the day and night or the 5 elements of nature. And then there was also a kind of discussion, the scientific temper, how to build scientific temper through reading, etc. We engaged with the horticulture staff. It's extremely important. These are the people who are there around us. So we had the horticulture supervisor coming in and speaking to us about the importance of forests, what's the difference between forests and gardens and things like that. And he helped us set up a seed library. We have created a seed library in our university, and we distributed the plantable bookmarks. So we wanted to literally make it a kind of hands-on. So how exactly a sapling has to be nurtured, and how to take care of it. So along with that, we collaborated with the forest department. We got in saplings and distributed it to the staff members and students who obviously stay in hostel, but they willingly took some of the saplings. So the horticulture officer explained to us about all this, and we kept a quiz all around the campus. We collected the leaves. We asked the students to identify which leaves these are. So they use the Google Lens, they use their general knowledge, and they try to put up the answers in the form of post-it pads. These are very simple activities which we can do on a day-to-day basis. So on 6th August, Hiroshima Peace Day, most of us are aware about the importance of these 2 cities, how they suffered because of the atom bomb and its after effects. So origami, as we all know, is the Japanese art of folding. So we have taken, if you see my logo, our university logo has these origami birds. So we took it on us that we have around 2,000 odd students. So the entire year from August 6th to August 5th from 2025 to 2026, we will be folding 2,000 cranes to mark a kind of commitment to maintaining peace in the world. So every Friday, we have the origamist, the student volunteer who is from the Muse Club, who comes and involves the volunteers who would like to do the cranes together. So this is another way of involving the support staff. For the nutrition day, we invited the people because we had seen them in the Labor Day that they are very enthusiastic, they are literate. So we presented a PowerPoint presentation where we talked to them about different food groups and how they need to eat a balanced diet and such things. And we had a quiz. And surprisingly, they were very, very active. So now we have made it a regular activity during Saturdays and Sundays when the student strength is less. We invite them for such events and get them involved in reading or in literary activities, right? As I said, engaging will also include feedback. So we have put up QR codes at various places. So it can be in the form of Google Forms, or it can be a kind of interview. Like when the outgoing student body, governing body left, we have a kind of interview with them also. What is it, the difficulties the student faced? They as conveners, what feedback have they got? We collect from them. Then we have put up QR codes at different locations in the library. So we get through them, not just for the passing out batch, but also events. No, we had exhibitions for Silver Jubilee celebrations. So the feedback of the alumni is also what we collect. So that helps us to improve on ourselves. So we should learn to handle negative feedback, criticism, and emerge a bit better or improve ourselves better. So this was some of the feedback that we got from this post. This, why I have put up the feedback is it helps us to stay motivated. It helps us to innovate and make our next edition better than what the earlier one was. So this was about the stress-free corner that I talked about. Regularly students are here, though our Soul Studio, it keeps changing its location, but the students inflow is always there. We have created a small children's section in our library on an experimental basis. So we did have families visiting us and taking part in some of the activities. Then we celebrated the International Women's Day. All these are opportunities to connect our community with the resources that we have. So once again, we had a focus group discussion on understanding the work-life balance and how reading can help. And then what are the kind of books they would like to read. And we had some kind of folder making, we had some poetry writing, and we had silent reading kind of activities. So this also is a good way of involving a particular set of staff members into the library. The best part is the alumni. How do we engage them? So recently, since it's the 25th year, we have different batches of students coming in. So just to give them that nostalgic feeling, we put up very interesting posters and we allow them to explore the library. So we did a very interesting thing, which is called as the mystery trail. So entire library, we didn't walk them through. We gave them a trail, so they were given some kind of questionnaire. So they had to visit that particular spot, stop there, collect some information, go to the next spot, collect some information, again go to the next spot. So this was so beautiful that one of the alumni said that this is something very nice. I will steal it for my office. So such kind of interesting things, if you do, it sort of connects them. And now that person has said that, ma'am, and he took the membership immediately, and he said that I'll visit the library regularly with my wife. So that kind of lure we should have for our community. And the prospective students, usually we have school students visiting, just before they take admission. So many schools bring in the students for us. So we at the library don't leave this opportunity. We create exclusive bookmarks which has OERs, educational, open educational resources exclusively for class 10th and 12th. We prepare the list, we prepare the QR code, and we distribute it, right? And we talk to them how library can help them. So, and in fact, we collect the feedback, like what did they feel? They said that we have never seen such a big library, because school libraries are very small in compared to these university libraries. So their feedback gives us an opportunity to stay motivated as well as improvise ourselves, right? Coming to the final component, that is the advocacy. Once we have created awareness, once we have created engagement, now sustaining the support, right? How to build support at the institutional level or at the policy level. So this is once again a long-term strategic plan that we have to see. So we have to target the decision makers, who are the people who can make an impact, especially the director general, the directors, the deans, the senior faculty members, etc. So all the kind of reports that we create should have, the assessments that we have taken over a period of time, whether it is the usage of the resources, whether it is the footfall, or whether it is the kind of metrics that we have maintained for the research output of our institution. Okay, and this can also help us to ensure that the budget, not just for the e-resources, but also for the print resources and the various other activities of the library. It's important that we create success stories and we we take in the suggestions, or we take in the opinions of the people who are involved. Recently, a new staff member joined us. He's Mr. George Scaria. He's the advisor, the communication advisor. He has worked in various magazines and in some higher education institutes also. So this was the day. He was hardly there with us for 10, 12 days, and he had already said that this is something which is very unique, right? So these kind of support, or these kind of remarks will help us to build a niche for ourselves in the institution. Same way, when we distribute the library usage in the form of graphics, this will really impress the administration that we are adding value. Okay, in my university, my colleagues do an excellent job of maintaining the faculty publications and regularly updating it on the website, giving the data to the research office, to the dean research office, giving the data to the IQAC, and all the kind of requirements that our administration asks for, because we have the Center of Excellence status. So we have to give data to the Gujarat government as well as to the Ministry of Education. Whatever kind of data is asked from us, the data is provided by the library. So it's a kind of pride for us to do that. So constantly we keep on sharing the data, which will help the institution to ensure that whatever we are subscribing is continued over a period of time. So again, this is the ALA library advocacy tips, how we need to advocate or create support for the library. You know, how do we generate engagement? How do we ensure that we keep up the momentum? Or how do we ensure that the action is participatory? So creating compelling stories, or thinking of various channels to circulate our messages, or going beyond the emails is extremely important, right? Then, as I said, this is another advocacy. Like we had the Padma Shri, Shri Satyanarayana Mundayur. Basically, the rural internships that I talked about in my institute, we wanted a boost for it. So we invited him to tell us how we can go beyond those simple, the typical mundane things that students do on internship. We wanted them to make a difference. So this is Uncle Musa, as is commonly known in the Arunachal Pradesh, in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. He, with the help of local youth, has created libraries for the community, for the villages there. So this sort of was a huge impact on our students. Many of the students were so impressed with this. They want to take up this kind of initiative in the state of Gujarat or in their home states. So when these people appreciate and talk about our library, it goes a long way in creating a kind of sustainable relationship with this. So this World Book and Copyright Day, we tried something different. We invited all the important people, those who are at the helm of the affairs, the Director General, the Director, the Deans. If they are so busy, if they can read, then we too can read. So we try to feel that, collecting what they're reading currently will sort of impress. So we created a Padlet, and we put up their readings, and we also put it up on the notice board. So if they are reading, then more will read. So some of the books that they are reading, which were there in our library, we told this is what we have in the library, this is what we'll procure in the library. So it was work for my team also, as well as an encouragement for the students to read. So this is what one of our alumni said. Okay, he is the co-founder of Delivery. We all know the logistics company. So he realized how nostalgic. He was a student of 2002, 2006 batch, and he felt how he remembered a particular book which was on display there, and how he felt that there is a separate launch for faculty members, and how he felt that the very idea of library, he says he spent a lot of his time in the library. This is one extreme. I'll show you another extreme when he says he never came to the library. So he said that the library has the same charm. So 25 years of wisdom was what was contained in the stack area, which he really went around and relished, right? Here was another alumni who said that he regretted not using the library extensively, and after 10 years, when he stepped back and when he did the mystery trail, he realized what he had missed. So he said now that he will be a regular member of the library, and he would like to reuse the library as he would have done as a student, right? So while doing all of this, definitely we face challenges. It might be lack of infrastructure, low participation. We have gone through all of this, limited staff, no time, no funds, approval issues, but we have to overcome them. All of us are in the same boat, right? So we, since we are in the vicinity of InflibNet, we always keep seeking their help. We have created the InflibNet corner in our library. So we seek help. Since we do not subscribe to Scopus of Web of Science, we are dependent on them. Whenever our scholars have requirement, we go there and fetch data from them, right? Any kind of training that is required for our staff, or any kind of IRINS related issues, or any kind of subscription issues, we always approach to InflibNet. So many of you might have attended their open day event, which is successfully being conducted for the past 2-3 years, I believe. So these are opportunities for us to connect, so we have to connect with the professional bodies. We have to initially start small, and then with consistency, we can make an impact. We have to collaborate. We can never stand alone or work independently. We have to show the impact, however small it is. So make the use of data. First, collect data and ensure that we display it or we communicate it to the authorities, and that will bring us weightage. So we need to remember that we have to go beyond the traditional circulation work. We have to be proactive. We have to take initiatives that strengthens and engages with the help of technology and communication. We have to ensure that our users understand its value, and library visibility will definitely entice the users with understanding the value. And then user participation is a must. So any kind of activity that we do without the users, it doesn't have any meaning. And any kind of activity is to encourage the optimum utilization of the resources, the facilities, and the services. And all this together will contribute to the library's growth. So you might have seen the Blinkit covers or Jassi the Paratha, the hard cartons that come with that, right? They have so different ways of involving the customers. If they can do it, why can't we as librarians? Every opportunity, we should not leave it go. Not a single day should go when we have not tried something new. We have not made attempt to promote something. We have not talked positively to our community. So every opportunity should be to market our resources or to advocate ourselves, right? To summarize, so marketing, as we know, whether it is marketing, outreach, or advocacy, the continuum of these three will definitely lead to visibility. So promotion and awareness is the first step. Then engagement is the second step. And then creating influence or creating support for it is extremely important. Not just those who are regular users, but all those who do not use the library resources effectively. It is to them that we have to reach out, right? And whatever kind of policies are there, whatever kind of practices are there, how do we ensure that we streamline them? How do we ensure that we have sufficient institutional support for that, right? And ultimately, how do we communicate strategically all of this? So today, let's commit to adapt to new teaching methods. Okay, during our times, it was the traditional book and paper or chalk and board. It is now the learning management system and the Google Classrooms, etc. Right? So we have to adapt to the new teaching and research methods, right? Whether it is the open research or whether it is the data management that they talk about. So we have to understand them and we have to adapt to it, right? Whatever are the trends in education, whatever are the trends in teaching, we have to assert our role, right? We have to become the positive partners and position ourselves that we are a party to their academic endeavors. We should never let them go. No student or no user should go back without getting the required information. So they are what our tagline, our library tagline is: library is the second best academic place next to their classrooms. So library should be the first place they should approach for information. So we have to build partnership with all the stakeholders, network. It is important that we hold each other's hands, share ideas as well as learnings, and that will make us enriched, right? So we have to value our institution for giving us a chance to serve this kind of intellectual community. So let's be thankful to that. So with this, I end my sharing. I'm indebted to my university authorities for permitting me to share my views, and also to my wonderful team who work with me. And most of these resources are, I only share the ideas. They are the people who execute it. I am extremely thankful to each one of them. And thank you to you all for the audience for being such patient listeners. So I would close with Sam Helmack's, the LA President's quote. As we look towards the next 250 years, the choice is ours. We can let our libraries fade, viewed as charming relics of a bygone era, or we choose to invest in them as the bedrock of our future. So let us decide right now that libraries are not optional. They are the very breadth of a free society, and they are worth fighting for. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rashmi Kumar madam. Thank you so much. In fact, it's something new and different. Till now, we have conducted a series of programs, and all are some kind of regular presentations. And in fact, we are very inspired and motivated with your presentation, madam.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, there are many points to take up and execute in our libraries. Not only in one library, it's across country, any type of library, definitely it will work for us. And it's very inspiring and motivating. And I would like to hear if there is Karisiddhappa sir. Sir,
are there any questions, specific questions?
There are few. Would you like to go ahead for the questions first?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. There are few questions.
Yes.
And Kalpana Kiratkar, how can libraries implement customized services for diverse user communities while avoiding inequality in access to information resources? How can libraries implement customized services for diverse user communities while adapting inequality in access to information resources?
Yeah. So in today's era, this is a technology-enabled library environment. It's extremely important to do a feasibility study. How many of our members have special requirements? They might be special learning needs, they might be dyslexic, or they might be dyscalculic, or they might be having physical disability, etc. Right? Or they may belong to the socially economic challenged group. So having a kind of idea that these are the people who require help. We have the book bank facilities, etc. Right? So having a feasibility study and identifying or earmarking specific resources, specific tools to address them. So for example, we have the visually challenged people. Then there are specific software that are available. There are Braille literature available. And there are many organizations in the country which support this. Okay, so we can use these kind of tools, these kind of services, but it's extremely important that as a librarian, I do a feasibility study, understand the requirements of such users, and ensure that we practice equity and equality in the same measure. Right? Hope I answer the question, Kalpana ji.
Yes, ma'am. There is one more question from Shejal Pellavar. What strategic leadership qualities should modern librarians develop to successfully implement customized and participatory library services? What strategic leadership qualities should modern librarians develop to successfully implement customized and participatory library services?
Okay. So this is whether it is modern libraries or traditional libraries. I think the first and foremost thing that is required is integrity. Okay, walk the talk. Right. So if I say it is just 4 books are you are having the borrowing privilege, it applies to me as the librarian also. So one is integrity. Second is ensuring that we are proactive. It's important that we proactively understand the requirements and then provide, right? Then another quality that I would really advocate as a leader is empathizing, right? So it's important that we empathize as leaders, and then we take informed decisions. Any kind of decisions that we are taking, I think we should do a kind of research, we should do our homework well, and then take the decisions. And last but most important is patience. As leaders, not just problem solving or taking better decisions or being self-aware or conflict resolution. I feel it is the patience that is crucial for a leader.
Yes, ma'am. So another question from Manish. Do you think the future of libraries lies in personalized digital ecosystems rather than physical spaces?
I would think it should be a balance between both.
Actually, it means a hybrid kind of
Yes.
both digital and physical spaces. So what implications will this shift have on user participation? What implications will have this?
Yeah, again, I really don't know, since most of them are digital natives, most of them are aware of how to use technology for their activities. And now with the implementation of artificial intelligence in almost every aspect of our lives, I think the impact will be huge. How do we adapt ourselves? No? How do we empower ourselves with the required skills will be the defining element. So it's on us. How do we adapt? Okay, adaptation is the key.
Right, madam. Thank you. Thank you. There are, if anybody has any questions further, you can just drop a
mail to
mail.
me. Yeah.
It's better to mail to
Yes.
madam, so that
Yeah. I understand time is a constraint.
Time is a constraint for us. Otherwise, we know your expertise, madam.
Thank
we would like to hear a few words from the Karisiddhappa. Sir, are you available, Karisiddhappa sir? If he's available, we would like to listen our members. Seems he's not online, isn't it?
Sir,
he
unmute
doesn't know
yourself.
how to unmute himself.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Is it all right?
Excellent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We could hear now.
So it's a good practice that ILA is nowadays following, and you active members of the associates of the ILA, office bearers of the ILA, have taken it a challenge and reaching to the community quite often. And it was very much necessary that kind of a refreshing on the issues like this is a must, and that you are doing. I'm very happy. And you are making use of the forums and the persons available and their experiences for the betterment of understanding of our working librarians. It is a very good movement, and I appreciate it. And I congratulate all of you for your heroic efforts in making the knowledge and the experience and the professional awareness much better. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karisiddha sir. We are all blessed to see you and take your feedback.
Yeah,
good, hearing from you itself is a big thing.
No,
and again, compliment is another big thing.
Not that. I am an outmoded person already, non-current, you know. But
no, sir, you are not outdated. You are having the domain knowledge wherever we are working, and you people have started erecting the building. Whatever we are following you. You
so
cannot
nice
say
of
like
you.
this.
So nice of you. So nice of you.
No, sir. You have
Yes.
created the syllabi. Even till today, people are going and following. And if new things are coming, all these things given by the very footprints of you people.
Yeah, so nice of you. So nice of you.
Definitely, we are always open to hear from you anytime, sir.
Yes,
And,
yes.
We remember your services forever,
Okay,
not only for ILA, not only for the libraries, not only for the teaching.
I am always there for you. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So nice. So nice. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. So now time has come to wind up the session. I would like to present a vote of thanks. And Madam Kumbar, Madam, thank you very much. In fact, you have given a wonderful presentation. You have covered very good areas like context, various contexts, libraries, active hubs, connecting with people, resources, and then again 10 ways to improve visibility, how we can improve our visibility of any library. We are using 10 different ways, using information literacy, digital literacy, organizing workshops and events, using social media, and develop campus outreach programs and personalized research assistance, ICT adoption. And apart from that, you have covered many areas, how visibility helps in how visibility really helps to the libraries, increasing utilization, and as well as strengthening library role in academic ecosystems, enhances institutional reputation, justifying funds, and coordination with the authorities. Many things we have covered. Really, it's wonderful. And marketing, how we can market our library and library products, and how we can create branding, and how it works, publicity works, advertising works, advocacy works for more utilization of resources and promoting library. And many things we have covered, ma'am. It's in fact thanks to you for giving such a wonderful presentation for our library members. Now time has come because we wanted to wind up. As we come to the close of this session on enriching national webinar on enhancing library visibility and user participation through customized services, it's my pleasant duty to propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I convey our special thanks and gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Rashmi T. Kumbha, ma'am, for delivering an insightful, informative, and thoughtful provoking lecture on the theme. Her valuable deliberations have greatly enriched our understanding of innovative and customized library services for enhancing visibility and user engagement. I express my sincere gratitude to the respected president of and my colleague of Dr. Pradeep Roy, working with Maitrey College and librarian of Maitrey College and president of ILA, for his constant encouragement and support towards academic and professional activities of the association. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our General Secretary. He is also my friend, Dr. Dharamji, librarian of RLA College. Now it is named as Aryabhatta College of Delhi University. Sorry. And Dr. Veeresh Hanchilal is another friend of mine. He's working with TISS, and he's presently working as a librarian. He's acting as a librarian of ILA, for his valuable presence and guidance and inspiring remarks. I also convey our special gratitude to our senior colleague and guru, Dr. Karisiddhava sir, for his valuable presence and his good words for all the professionals. I also sincerely thank Dr. Shubham Masurkar for introducing the speaker and contributing to the smooth functioning of event. I place on record my sincere appreciation to the technical and organizing team, Dr. Vinita Jain, Dr. Shubham Masurkar, Vivek Tiwari, Ruby Tagbore, and Shahil Yatram, Dilip Jange, and some of the people who could not join, Shambhaji and others, for their dedicated efforts, coordination, and hard work in ensuring the smooth execution of this webinar. I extend sincere thanks to all office bearers, organizers, and volunteers of the ILA for their continuous support in making this program a success. Finally, I express my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants from different parts of the country for your enthusiastic participation, active interaction, and valuable presence, which made this webinar meaningful and successful. I request all of you to kindly share your feedback, and further I request all the participants to take life membership of ILA, and it's a very nominal charges. We just charge 1,550 for each one for whole life. So I request all the professionals who is in the ILA profession, who is in library science profession, who wanted to continue the profession, try to take the membership. We are with you. We wanted to work unitedly for the profession as well as professional enhancement. Thank you once again. I request you.
Thank you so much.
Share in the YouTube. Thank you once again to everyone. Pradeep ji, thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Prasad ji. Thank you so much. Pradeep, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and all the members on the panel. I appreciate your patience, and I look forward to be a part of ILA, any kind of support that is required. Thanks.
In fact, Madam Rashmi, Madam, we would like to visit your library whenever we get a chance.
Please do come, sir. Please do come.
Whenever you get a chance, kindly do visit our library. I'm working with a University of Hyderabad IGM library. We take your inputs if there is any possibility. Whenever you come to Hyderabad, you are always welcome to.
Yes, we would definitely make it to the place.
I would like to happy to share one news. We would like to organize the ILA conference this time in Hyderabad, because our office bearers and as well as many members were asking to conduct one program in ILA Hyderabad. So we are eager to have this program this year, ma'am, this year ending or maybe January. So we need your inputs, and again joining. We expect your joining, madam.
Yes, sure, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam. Once again, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.